Happy Sunday. Excuse the retro glasses, but you may or may not, if you follow me, you may know I had the second cataract operation on my left eye on Wednesday. Everything's going fine. It was a bit hairy because, oh, excuse me, let me pick up the little girl. The right eye went swimmingly in November. He was so gentle and it was a lovely experience. I barely felt a thing. But the lady surgeon on last Wednesday, I think she was operating with a corkscrew. Anyway, it felt like I'd been whacked in the eye with a baseball bat. But everything is fine and I can now see mostly unblurred through it, which is, you know, big advantage, isn't it? Being able to see out of two eyes, yes. Excuse me, little Miss, this is Miss Trixie Bell, Miss Snuffle Pig. I'm looking after them. My son is doing a camper van and he's gone to his friends for some help with the electrics. He's bought like a basic van with nothing in it and he's rigging it out as a camper van. So anyway, I'm preparing. I can't sit forward, let me get another cushion. As you know, I fell off the dining chair, which wasn't a good idea last week, and I hurt my coccyx, which is a polite word for saying your bottom. Yeah, I went straight down on the, you know, your tailbone, and when you've got rod and pins in your back, it's not a great idea, is it? Listen, Miss Snuffle Pig, are you going to sit still or what? It's got to be a great video, this, isn't it? I'm taking advantage of the fact there's nobody in, because I don't know, I can make videos when people are in, but I'm a bit self-conscious. And I prefer to chatter, yeah. For those of you who haven't seen, that's the only one I've done so far. I'm supposed to be making 2, but I haven't made the one for the second. So for, ow, Trixie is biting my finger, she's teething. She's about 12, 13 weeks old now. And she's chewing everything and anything in sight. And she's been a bit of a naughty girl because she had a little piddle in the kitchen. I wouldn't mind, but I'd just let them both out. Not 5 minutes before. But no, she came back in again and did a piddle in the kitchen. Something tells me our training is not going too well. But she's only a baby yet. Anyway, I'm getting ready for the craft fair. You've probably seen some of the things I'm going to show you. This I finished off last night while I was on my live. So you'll have to excuse the fact it's not blocked yet, so it's looking a bit wobbly. So I had one ball of, I think it was Karen, I'm not sure. It had like a silvery kind of a label on it. I think it was Karen. So I used that for the squares at the bottom of the waistcoat or vest or whatever you want to call it. And then I used some, like a pinky beige colour for the top. But that does need blocking, so it doesn't look quite as good as it might, yeah. Oh, excuse me. Minute I come in here, my nose starts to trickle. This is one I made before when I was, you know, at my other house. But it had a very, very low neck, so I actually did a running thread all the way through this. And it's one of Jen Cherry, who's Star Lily Creations. It's one of her patterns. It is a paid for pattern. You can buy it on Ravelry or on Etsy. But that's what I made with it. It's different. You could wear it back or front because it's different both sides. So that's one of my, well, retro kind of things. You've seen the red retro pattern that I made before, in the red and the green and the cream, which was a tiny size. Hello Rosie, hello, we've got double trouble now. So I made another one, a little bit larger, but in the pastel shades. Everybody seems to like the pastel shades, you know, the shades I've chosen. So we're hopeful. You know, we're ever hopeful, aren't we? We want to sell something. You have seen the cardigans before. I'll show them you again. They're done in the boho spirit. That's that one. I do love the boho spirit. I think the colours are absolutely gorgeous. I think this one was called Dream, I think the colour was called. But I might be wrong. I've mentioned it before in a previous video, so, you know, if you look back, if you're desperate to know what colour it was, I think it was Dream. The other one I made, I remember it was in Mojo. That's the other cardigan I made, that's in Mojo. Yeah. You see, if I was slimmer, I could do a catwalk parade, couldn't I, wearing these, but I've made them in smaller sizes, and as yet, even though I'm slimming slightly and slowly, I'm not quite at the stage where I can fit into these yet. I do like this one because I like the buttons. I put heart buttons on, if you can see. Yeah. I mean, I've got dozens of buttons in the shed, but I just fancy, in my craft shed, I should say, in case you're thinking it's the bicycle shed or something. But I just fancied some different ones, you know, to make it look like that. This one, again, is in Boho Spirit, but this is in Carnival shade. That one has got, I love the buttons on that as well, if you can see the buttons, they're butterflies. So that's the waistcoat or vest or whatever you want to call it. A vest is something we wear underneath, like underwear in the UK. We call these a waistcoat, but yeah, you call them a vest in the US, don't you? Right, you've seen these before, but I'll show them you again. This is made in cotton. It was a Jaeger cotton, I think. No, it was a Wendy cotton, I tell a lie. It's a top. It was a pattern that I bought from Etsy, I think. Yeah, I think I bought it from Etsy. Again, I've shown this before. It's got the lacing at the back. And with the rest of the wall, I made a little pop over top. Now this was adapted from a free YouTube pattern, but it had a different lacy pattern at the bottom, which I was running out of yarn, to be quite truthful, and it was a little bit deeper and a little bit lacier, so I had to scrap that idea and do a bit of my own edging, because I only had about that much wool left, or cotton left I should say. Right, what else have I been making? You've seen this one before. This one was done with a rainbow effect yarn from Ice Yarn, which was sadly now I can't order ice anymore. I can, but I'm not paying the import duties and the postage duties, because that makes it out of my pocket anymore. Yeah, I'm sure I can find something in the UK that's equivalent, but Ice Yarns was fantastic yarn. Everybody who bought it loved it, but it's making it so hard, you know, with all the import duties and taxes that they stick on. I think I told you once before I ordered some, well, I didn't order it, I put it in my basket, and it should have come to £16, but by the time it had finished with the postage and the import duties and the taxes, it was £42, which was a little bit expensive for 2 packets of wool, 2 packets of yarn, so I didn't buy it, yeah. So anyway, that's done with some ice yarn I already had in my crafting shed. That's a little jacket. It's got, oh, look what you can see on it. It's got rainbow buttons on. My friend likes these kind of colours, but they're not mine. Pastels and me, nah. This is another one I made with Boho Spirit. Again, this is no pattern, this is out on my head. You know what I'm like, I do better crocheting when I do it off my head, yeah. The first waistcoat I showed you, by the way, that was in my head, no pattern. And this one has no pattern. Just in case you ask me, which pattern did he use? It's no good asking me which pattern I use. If I don't tell you, it doesn't have one, yeah. This one is done with the granny squares again with the Boho Spirit. This one again, I think it's Mojo, the colour. And it's got heart buttons on it. Ooh, she says, trying to show you. Heart buttons on that. If you want to know where I got the buttons from, I got them from eBay. Good old eBay. Right, the last two. People in America will recognise this yarn. I had one ball of it in the shed. It's black light, red heart black light. So I made, this is an inspiration from a YouTube pattern, but the YouTube pattern has got a fancier square. I have actually done one square in white, which I do hope to finish before Saturday. But it's one I can't do while I'm watching the TV. I've got to concentrate and watch the YouTube at the same time, and it just isn't happening at the minute. Anyway, by the by, I used the idea and I just did normal granny squares. So this one is a festival top, obviously for the younger. I wouldn't be wearing this on the catwalk, would I? I've got an awful feeling that these straps are a little long, but I may be wrong. I may be wrong. We can always shorten them anyway. If anybody wants me to shorten them, I can. Yeah. So that's that one. And then this is another one that my friend likes, but as I explained to her, you know, you have to buy all the colours to do it with. So I'm going to have to find some way of using up the odds of the balls, because I had to buy separate balls for every colour that I used in this. And I gave away, as you know, I gave away all of my ornaments when I moved here. So I'm left with no small balls of anything. All I've got is I've had to buy full balls. Anyway, this is it. It's again another of the boho tops with the fringing. And it's different. All the squares are different, so you could wear it two different ways. It'll look like you've got two different tops on, yeah? So again, not for me, obviously. Not got the age group and not got the figure to wear anything like this. But the lady who is organising the craft fair, she's only young, and she went, oh, I really do like that. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that it will sell. But I've got loads and loads and loads of wool left. Well, yarn. You call it yarn, I still call it wool, even though it's acrylic. To make more of the boho, because I've got all these different colours that I bought full balls of. That's the only problem, isn't it, when you're making anything with granny squares? If you don't have ornaments, you have to buy all the full balls in all the different colours. I've seen a beautiful poncho actually online today. And my friend said, oh, I love it, I like the colours of that. And I'm like, yeah, but you'd have to buy one ball of every different colour to get it to look like that, you know. So it isn't like as easy as you think. So what you think, oh, I could make one of those for so much. You can't, because if you're paying like £2 for each ball and you need about 10 colours, yeah, you know, you're sort of like £20 down before you even start, aren't you? I mean, you can't charge, you know, what you would for that. You can't charge it because you wouldn't sell it, you know. So I'm just hoping I find a use for all this. I'll have to make plenty of patchwork things, won't I, to use up the colours. Yeah. Oh, I've got two little girls now sleeping. I don't know whether I can move the camera so you can actually see. Oh gosh, can you see them? Can you see Rosie? And they've got the little one. Rosie's doing very well. She's just a year now. She was a year on Monday. And on Tuesday she went to be spayed. She had a terrible time with her first season. She was really, really poorly. And as we didn't particularly, well, we don't want puppies anyway from her, we decided to have her spayed. The little one, she's only, you know, 12 weeks, I think she is now. So we've got a long while to wait before, you know, we make a decision about her. But French Bulldogs do have a terrible time when they're having puppies, so I doubt we will have puppies from her. They're such hard work anyway. I was talking to Sue the other day, you know, Sue in Scotland, my friend Sue, and she kind of goes next door but 3 or 4, and dog sits while her friend goes shopping, because her friend, her Cocker Spaniel, had 8 puppies. And Sue, like Sue said, that's put me off ever wanting a dog with puppies. They're such hard work, she said. She's been looking after them like for hours at a time virtually, like, you know, when a friend's gone out shopping because she didn't want to leave the mum put with all the little babies, yeah. And Sue said that's put her off. Oh, ding! My phone's dinging at me. Ding, ding, said the bell. Oh, what on earth? Where's my friend? Do you know, if you're watching this, June, you have a knack. The minute I pick up a camera or the minute I start doing a live, you decide to ping me messages. I think she's got a hidden camera somewhere in here. You know, it was the same when I used to make more videos, come to think of it, when I lived in Prestwich. I made more videos then. And somebody always rang me or sent me a message or pinged me. The minute, I could be in all day, nothing ever happened, and the minute I picked up a camera it was like bing, bing, phone ring, bing. Yeah. There was a video that somebody had put up about Prestwich, going for a walk around Prestwich, you know, the town centre and that. And I must admit it did make me a little bit homesick. I do love it here, don't get me wrong, but it's what I call the cafe culture. I could just walk out of, well, not walk out my door, that's a bit of a wrong thing to say. I could scoot out of my front door, and within 5-10 minutes I had a choice of maybe a dozen cafes, places to eat. I had supermarkets to go to, I had plenty of shops and everything. If you follow me on Facebook, you'll see on my page there's a video from YouTube of Prestwich. Whereas here, it's like a 2-mile excursion one way and a mile excursion the other way to even get a cup of coffee. You know, we have a little precinct around here that, you know, got a little supermarket where you can get bits and bats. And there is a sandwich shop that sells marvellous sandwiches, but it isn't a cafe. It's a takeaway sandwich place. And then we've got like an Indian restaurant, I think there's a Chinese restaurant, there's a dog groomers. There used to be a laundrette, but that's closed down now. And then there's a suntan shop and a hairdresser's. But no cafe, no cafe. It's 5 minutes for me to get to the seafront if I go that away. But where I am, it's not the touristy bit, it's just the seafront, yeah? So you have to go 2 miles up the road to Fleetwood or 1 mile down the road to Cleveland's to get a cup of coffee. And that is what I miss. I miss you have to excuse me while I get my cup of coffee, you've just reminded me. I miss the people watching. I used to meet up with friends, you know, they'd say, do you fancy a cup of coffee, or do you fancy we have breakfast? And off I'd toddle and meet them. Even during the COVID restrictions we could eat outside because the weather was quite nice, yeah. We've even eaten outside in the rain with a big umbrella under, you know, over the top of us, yeah. I do miss that. No doubt when the sun starts to shine and I can go back on the seafront, I'll have to get myself a flask and take my coffee with me. That's the only way I'm going to be able to do it. But I am looking forward to sitting on the front on my scooter, take my crochet, take a book, sit out and get some fresh air. It's nice today, but it's not that warm. It's not raining, but it's not that warm. So it's not the kind of day you want to sit out in. And also, hopefully, you know, we had a lot of trouble with the garden, as you know, last year. Being a mud bath, you know, didn't have drainage and stuff. So we've had drainage put in the back garden, so hopefully we'll get to the flowers and hanging baskets, etc., etc. this year, when the 2 girls stop churning it up. It looks at the moment like it's a training ground for horses. Rosie has the zoomies and she gallops all over, and with the grass being damp, she's churned it all up. So you couldn't mow it if you tried at the moment because it's like a ploughed field, yeah. My son has assured me he will sort it out, you know, by the summer. And then we can finally get the summer furniture out of the shed. Not my shed, the other shed. And we ordered it all last summer, but it took so long to arrive that by the time it arrived, the weather had changed. So we didn't bother unpacking it. We left it packed up in its boxes. And we put it in the shed. Not my craft shed, the shed. It's all in there. But they want to use that shed for other things, so hopefully we can get the furniture out very soon. It's like rattan furniture. I'll show you when it gets unpacked anyway. It's going to be nice. Sadly, I don't have the view, you know, that I used to in my old house. I used to love sitting out there. If you look at my old videos, you know, I had a big deck in. I had a view of St Mary's Church. Sometimes the church bells would ring. And there was always birds twittering and tweetering in the hedges. Here we have the raucous sound of seagulls. No nice birdies, just seagulls, yeah. But the girls do a good job of keeping the seagulls away, don't they, Rosie? Rosie and Trixie Bell, otherwise known as Trixie, or Piddlebum. Anyway, my craft fair, if you're in Fleetwood, it's at the Fleetwood Methodists, and Saturday it's 11 till 3, I think. So I will be there with my friend June. She's bringing some bunnies and chickens and different things that she's made. She's bringing those along. Mine's mostly what you see is garments. I do have a bucket full of hats and headbands, fingerless mitts, stuff like that. I obviously cannot take even 1/4 of the things I've got in my craft shed. So I've just packed 4 like laundry bags with things in them. I'm going to need help with them because I'm not supposed to carry anything heavy. Apparently it can make you something happen with the pressures of your eye after you've had cataract surgery. So I'm going to have to enlist. I'm going to have to be pathetic and say, can you carry me bags, please? Yes? So, anyway, that's what I hope. I'm not expecting wonders from this craft fair, but there's like 20 stalls, so it will be nice to get friendly with other people who craft, other people who are like-minded, you know, so you can get a feel of what goes on around here, whether craft fairs are a thing or not, whether the people who are doing this craft fair do other craft fairs, which could then lead to, you know, a crumb of toast, breakfast, could lead to other craft fairs in the future for me. And what is it? I'm surprised the dogs have not got that. It's a crumb of toast. So it could lead to other craft fairs for me in the future. I am still hoping to open up an online shop. I know people have asked me, you know, how much is this, what size is that? But I hesitate because the cost of postage to the US is astronomical. And, you know, it makes me feel, not embarrassed, it's not my fault, but you're embarrassed to tell people, well, it's going to be about £20 for the postage, you know. And that is something I cannot help at all. I can't do anything about that, I'm sorry, but I can't. You know, anyway, I'm going to sort something out. I will do, maybe I'll get some courage up and do some catwalk videos, you know, showing me in all my fat splendour. Yeah. I'm wearing wooden beads today. People always ask me what I'm wearing. Wooden beads and a hippie style top that's got like a sunflower on it, or a sun, is it? Typical hippie wear. You know, it wouldn't be me. Oh, by the way, if you notice in the hair, I've decided to grow all gracefully and let the grey grow out. Yeah? I did do a pale grey dye on it, and it turned out a bit like Mrs. Slocum Blue if you watch Are You Being Served. Anyway, it has faded a bit and it's now gone into grey. The side bits are my own grey bits. So I'm deciding it's time, I'm 76, it's time I went grey gracefully. But I do feel a bit undressed, which is why I put the retro glasses on. Feel a bit undressed without a bit of makeup on. Because I can't wear eye makeup for about 5 weeks now, which is going to kill me, but never mind. I don't wear it all the day, but if I'm going out anywhere, I do like to try to do my best with what I've got. You know, with what God gave me, I try to do my best with it. Anyway, I better go now because I've probably chopped myself off. We'll probably get a video in 2 halves. So it's bye from me, bye from Rosie, bye from Trixie. Bye-bye all. Bye. Bye.